Hello again. I am back. I'm going to do a couple more interviews actually before we jump into the live demonstrations. And I am joined now by Danielle Davis. She is the writer and producer of Peculiar and Strange. Danielle, thank you so much for joining us. This is Peculiar and Strange. I love the poster. So clearly it's is it a short film?
It's a short film for kids.
Okay.
Animated film.
Okay. What's it about?
So it's about these two girls, and Peculiar and Strange are not their actual names.
Okay.
Everyone calls them that because they're peculiar and strange. And it's basically about both of them are sort of isolated, and then they're weird, and then they find each other, and they discover the power of sort of embracing their strangeness and eccentricities.
Okay.
And it transforms not only them and they begin to transform, but it actually transforms the whole world. So it's about embrace your strange.
Wow. Okay, so what inspired this story for you?
I think everybody feels different in one way or another. I think as an artist, oftentimes folks feel different, so I felt that difference. And it's been such a wonderful part of being an artist to meet other artists who are also strange and peculiar, and then make things that are transformative.
Yeah. So this is directed by Hannah Kim. You wrote and produced it. Did you write it and you were like, I want to find a director? Like, what made you like write it and say like, I'm gonna write it, but I'm not gonna direct it. I want somebody else to kind of put in their touch. How was that process for you?
Oh, thanks for asking. So I'm not an animator. I'm a children's book writer.
Okay.
So I wrote it thinking it would be a children's book. And then I was between agents and it was like deep pandemic.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? And people were telling me this should be an animated film. I was like, yes, that's right. So let's just do it ourselves. I found Hannah Kim. She's from Korea, South Korea, living in the States. She works at DreamWorks. She went to CalArts. And we just sort of came together and did this project together.
Wow. So did you have to like because it was written initially for a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
Did you then have to like translate it into a different kind of script for animation? What was that experience like for you?
I love that word translation. That's kind of what it was. Yeah, so it's the same story and most of the language is the same, but I looked at it differently, and then Hannah also collaboratively looked at it differently, and we brought a little bit to it. And there's a lot, like in a children's book, but in an animation, there's a lot in the visual story that doesn't have to be in the words. And so she brought a lot of that and brought like things I might not have imagined that are there. So like they hand out lemonade, for example, and it's supposed to be a weird thing they're doing randomly. But here, Hannah contributed that the lemonade is made of like yellow things like flowers and yellow trucks and yellow balls. So it makes it like even more weird and wonderful. So it's that sort of collaboration.
But you're used to, you said you usually write children's books. So you write the book and then you have somebody do the illustration. So you're used to that collaborative nature.
Well, that's the beauty and surprise of it.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of in filmmaking. Like it's just such a collaborative effort, and it's so nice of like how all these pieces come together. What would you say was your favorite part? Was it this is your first film venture into film, or you've done before?
Was this the first? I do some stop motion projects with my partner.
Okay.
So it's all coming together with the animation. But my favorite part is watching kids watch it.
Oh, okay.
Because we think kids don't have, attention spans anymore, and they're doing all this other stuff.
Totally.
But honestly, to watch a kid just be like totally mesmerized by something that you and other people created is really magical.
Yeah.
Like stops time the way a good book kind of stops time.
Yeah. No, I had that comment from one of the filmmakers yesterday, one of the older filmmakers, that he was saying one of the things that touched him the most was seeing like 20-something, like young 20s just watching here and like taking part. So I think it is special having like seeing the younger kids, like, because we do have this sense of like they have no attention span, they don't care about anything. So when you feel like no, they are, if you make something that's like beautiful enough, it's rewarding to see them like kind of take that in.
And that's why this is such a special event, to see a bunch of films all together as a community in a really special way.
What would you say were some of the challenges you faced in bringing Peculiar and Strange?
Timeline's always a challenge, just getting stuff done in time.
When you say timeline, it's like the time, like I want this under 5 minutes kind of timeline, or timeline of this took me 5 months to make.
Yeah, I mean, like animation takes a long time, right? And so that's always a struggle. It's like find time to get it done, and then
Right.
meeting those sort of deadlines. And timelines.
How long did it take from like inception to finished product?
3 years, but I think it must have been because it was like the heat of COVID times.
Right.
It shouldn't take that long, folks. It should not. I mean, you can do it faster. I don't want to discourage anyone.
No. I think the last interview I had, it was 5 years that, from like, but it was the same thing. She was like, this wasn't my main job, so I was just doing it when I had time. And same in one of the Q&As of the first documentary blog. It was so interesting. He was saying they were shooting it whenever after a shoot they had the equipment left over and they had like one more day extra, so they would use it. Like, so it took like 3 years. But I think the beauty is, even though it's a really long time, what I was telling the other interviewers, the fact that you finished it, you got to the end. Because sometimes 3 years can feel like discouraging to people, but it's like, no, you made it past the finish line, which I think is really beautiful. So what is this what is this?
It's my first picture book. So that's a book for kids that I wrote, and Max DeRoma did the art for that.
Oh my
And
God.
that's also about creativity and
I love
bringing your
it.
unique voice to the world. And
Amazing.
So animation and children's books are sort of going hand in hand.
Yeah. What got you into like telling stories for a younger audience? Like, that's a very specific kind of road.
I think because books were so key to me as a kid, and I would say saved my life, like they did so many kids.
Wow.
And so then I was always looking for stories and ways to tell stories, and to do that, to offer them hope and validation and comfort.
Amazing. I love it. Well, Danielle, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I'm really excited to see Peculiar and Strange. And thanks for coming out to Yucca Valley and sharing your story and your art with us.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Of
Chloe.
course. Thank you. All right, guys. I think I have one more interview with a very special guest from Yucca Valley. I want all you all to meet Mr. Clayton. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Which camera do I look?
Oh, I know. This is like a multi-cam situation. We can look here, and then at one point you'll be talking. I'm going to switch it up to that because we get fancy. Hello, Clayton. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am the recreation supervisor for the town of Yucca Valley. I run a pretty robust aquatics program during the summer and all of our special events. The 4th of July, Summer Concert Series, Halloween Spooktacular, this film festival, and then a Christmas tree lighting ceremony, winter holiday celebration, and then like back again next year with more special events. And just launched a new public art program that our first installations out here in the courtyard.
I love it. How do you find all these like ideas for these different activities? Is it kind of like a collaborative effort with the community? Do people say like, "Hey, we should do this"? Like, how's the process for that?
So a variety of things. Town leadership, elected officials, appointed, council and commissioners might ask for something or ask for us to look into something. They might point us towards another city where they went to an event and they're like, "Oh, that's really," in some cases, a member of the community comes to us and offers to help coordinate something. Like the festival director for this film fest, Matt and Aragon, like they provide the lion's share of everything. Like they bring a lifetime of experience, the expertise, the industry inside information. And then sometimes it's just we engage the community and we want to know what are the needs that we're not addressing, or what do you want us to do differently, and that snowballs into a bigger event or another event or a reoccurring something.
Yeah,
so,
I love that, and it's so special because this is such a small town community. So I feel like these events are kind of like the heart of the town. What's your favorite part of like hosting and creating these really special memories for these people growing up?
I really like the feedback. I like to see the same families that we have in our youth basketball program, at our aquatics program, at our special events. It's really, because it's a small town, because it's these more like personal interactions. It's fun, and seeing people out and about, seeing them at the playground, seeing them at the skate park, seeing the parents participating in the adult softball league, and then back at aquatics during the summer or at a concert. They're just, seeing people engaged and having fun. and on a staff standpoint, like working in this industry, like I don't have to do the same thing day in and day out.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like making sure bills
Yeah.
get paid and staff schedules get done. But like, like I'm putting on a film festival, and then I'll change gears and I'll do a Christmas tree lighting ceremony, and then we'll bring in 160,000 pounds of snow and build sledding hills.
Oh
and,
my god.
Like, fortunate for sure.
How long have you been doing this for?
Going back to the 90s,
Oh,
over
wow.
20 years.
And what about here in Yucca Valley?
8 years in Yucca. So
Is that how long you've been living here for?
I moved to Yucca Valley to work at the pool one summer.
Okay.
And
Why Yucca Valley?
I mean, Joshua Tree National Park. I'm a big rock climber,
Yeah.
hiker, backpacker.
Gotcha.
I love rural America. I can drive 2 minutes and be at work.
Yeah.
So, like housing and the housing market is super affordable.
Did you know when you came 8 years ago to work at the pool, did you kind of think you were gonna stay, or how did
I just made a short-term commitment to the town through the end of like August or September, and I made a commitment to myself that I'd like take advantage of everything that the desert has to offer. And things just kind of changed. We were the recipient of a grant from Proposition 68 for a new rec center. So we're building an indoor natatorium and gymnasium complex,
wow.
which is right along my experience and my professional
Yeah.
really what I specialize in.
I love that. Amazing.
Yeah. So things just kind of happened, and it was like, oh, like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, no, and this facility that you guys have here is amazing. Like a lot of people have been commending because like the audio isn't for the films that we're showing, and like the fact that it's broad daylight and you guys can I don't know, these are like blackout blinds, but this morning they just closed and it was like you're at a movie theater. Like the quality of the screen and the sound, we got so much praise for that. And Matt was like, this is a multi-purpose room. Like what you guys have done with the space to serve the community is really amazing. Has this been here for a really long time?
This building, yes, I believe this building predates Towns Incorporation in '91, and I think it goes back to the county special district that was here.
Oh wow!
So, we
have you renovated it? Because it doesn't look.
I don't know about serious renovations. I mean, it gets cleaned up, it gets repainted, it gets. The AV system's new in the last 10 years, 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
Projectors and drop-down screens.
No, you can tell. Because it really is. It's a great space.
Yeah, buy some speakers and supplement what we already have in place.
That's great. No, it's inspiring for some people. Like you don't need a state-of-the-art new facility to create, these special festivals like this. A lot of time you take what you have, you kind of upgrade, like you're saying, you buy new speakers, you put it there, and then you create this this little gathering of people, and not only from the community, which I've been so honored to meet, but then people that are coming from I met a couple yesterday that came from New York, to come to the festival. So I was like, it's just really exciting that you guys are doing this and bringing the community, not just the community together, but people from. It's my first time. I think this is the most east, southeast I've gone in California, and I've always heard wonders, and I was always like, yeah, one day I'll go to Joshua, one day. So finally getting to be here because you guys have put this together is really special. So it's the 5th year of this festival. What's your favorite part?
I'm really excited for the kids block that comes up in a few minutes. The puppeteer, his talk about stop motion. A lot of my programs and a lot of how I engage the public is based around a family-centric and youth-centric kind of program. So I'm always interested to see I recognize a lot of the parents and a lot of the kids from all the programs that I've run. So I'm excited to see how this comes together. Z1077 FM got involved and really helped promote the kids block. So I'm hoping for a good crowd. I'm hoping for some.
Have you guys done this in the past before? The kids blog. Has that always been a part of the film festival? Because you just know, Yucca Valley is such a family-oriented place.
Yes, I think I believe the kids program was all the way back to the first year.
Wow.
So,
okay.
yeah, we might have called it the animated section then, and maybe not the
Okay.
kids program.
Yeah.
But carving out like a little piece of the weekend
Yeah.
for let parents know, hey, this is for kids.
Yeah,
So,
I love that. Well, they are all lining up, and the stage is set. So this is going to be a very exciting part. I'm super excited for the presentation and for the film. So Clayton, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah.
We've been having a blast since yesterday, so I'm excited for the rest of the festival.
Yeah, another day and a half.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Clayton. All right, guys, we are going to start the presentation, right? Yes. Okay, so now I am signing off, and I'm going to be back at 2 p.m. But God, I want to show you guys. I'm going to unplug this. We got the stage. Oh, look at the kids. We got the stage. So we're going to have a live presentation of animation here. So it's really exciting. And then we're going to have some screening of student films, including Peculiar Strange, which we just spoke with Danielle. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm tuning off. I'm going to be back at 2. I'm going to be interviewing script writers at that time. So a completely different conversation. So make sure to tune in. Going to be live on Facebook, on YouTube. You guys can leave your comments. We will shout them out. And I will see you guys at 2 o'clock. See you soon.